I'll never forget the sound of her cries that night. Amina was in the hospital bed, gasping for air, her hands clutching at nothing. She whispered, over and over, "It was her, it was all her." That was the last thing she said before she was gone. I didn't know Amina well, not at first. She came to our neighborhood years ago, disheveled and broken. She was an educated woman, once polished and confident, but by the time she came to us, she was known for stealing. People whispered about her as if she were a ghost. She never stayed long anywhere because trouble always followed. She didn't seem like a thief when you looked at her. Her eyes carried shame, not mischief. Yet stories of her stealing spread like wildfire. Someone's phone here, a purse there. One day, a woman even caught her sneaking bread into her coat at the market. She was beaten that day, people said she deserved it. But I always wondered why a woman like her would end up like this. One evening, when she was sitting outside begging for coins, I sat beside her. I don't know why. Maybe curiosity. Maybe pity. She told me her story, her voice shaking like the leaves in the wind. Years ago, Amina had returned to her parents' village for her cousin's wedding. The city had changed her, made her bold. Too bold. She mocked the villagers, their superstitions, and their ways. But her biggest mistake was laughing at an old woman everyone called Mama Ik. Mama Ik was frail but sharp-tongued. She had lived in the village longer than anyone and was said to have her powers. Amina had called her a fraud, even when others told her to stop. She laughed, saying, "What will she do? Turn me into a chicken?" Mama Ik didn't yell or curse. She just stared at Amina and said, "You will learn respect when you lose all that makes you proud." A week later, Amina's troubles began. At first, it was small things, misplaced items at work, awkward moments where her colleagues swore they saw her take things. Then it escalated. Jewelry went missing during her in-laws' visit, and they blamed her. She was fired from her job when a client's wallet disappeared during a meeting. Her husband divorced her, and her family, embarrassed, told her to leave. She tried to start fresh in different towns, but the compulsion was always there. She'd wake up with items in her bag she didn't even remember taking. People grew to hate her, and she hated herself more. After years of wandering, she turned to spiritual help. She visited pastors, imams, and herbalists. One of them finally revealed the truth: it was Mama Ik. Amina tried to find the old woman, to beg for forgiveness, but Mama Ik had died long ago. By then, Amina was nothing more than a shadow of the person she used to be. She met a spiritualist who claimed he could help, but the rituals were expensive. That's when she became a full-time beggar, saving every coin. The day she finally had enough money, she was robbed on her way to the shrine. When I met her, she had nothing left but regret. She told me she was cursed because she didn't respect her elders. I didn't believe in curses back then, but something about her story stayed with me. That night at the hospital, I stayed by her side. She didn't have anyone else. Her last words still haunt me. It was her, it was all her. Some say she was a victim of her arrogance. Others say she was cursed. I don't know what to believe. But I know one thing for sure: there are some things you can never take back, no matter how hard you try.